do you replace a legend? That is the question that Georgia football is trying to answer right now, as Stetson the Mailman Bennett has departed for the NFL after leading Georgia to back-to-back national championships. But the Georgia quarterback room is absolutely loaded that this team and this offense may not even miss a beat. The only question that Georgia really has right now is who's going to be their starter in week 1. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad that you could join us today. As always, please continue to like, to comment, subscribe, share our videos, hit that notification button so you don't miss out on any of our future videos, including game-by-game predictions for every single college football team. Because, guys, here at the Gridiron Expert, college football never dies. The season never ends here on our channel, and we want you to take advantage of that. We want you to become a part of the conversation, and we want you to become a part of our GE Nation. Become a part of what we're building here, and we're building something pretty dang special on this channel. So you take a look at Georgia, reigning national champions for the last 2 years, winning back-to-back titles, now going for a three-peat. Well, again, Stetson Bennett is gone. It's hard to replace such a legendary quarterback, and most teams, when they lose such a legendary quarterback, when they lose such a long-time starter, they're left scrambling. Who's going to be the new guy? We've got this major quarterback battle. Are they going to be as good as our previous quarterback, or are we going to take a major step back? Georgia, I don't think, is worrying too much about that. You got to keep in mind, this is a Georgia team, guys, that didn't sign a quarterback last year. This is a team that is loaded with quarterback talent and depth on their roster that Kirby Smart's like, hey, look, we don't have to scramble. We don't have to go into the portal to find somebody. We don't have to keep recruiting quarterbacks right now. We have everything we need at the quarterback position on our roster as of now. And we're going to break down some of those candidates and maybe who we think is going to get that starting job in 2023. The first thing to be of note is, of course, any changes that are happening on the staff. Well, Georgia, of course, bringing in a new offensive coordinator, in Mike Bobo. He's familiar with Georgia. He's been there before. Todd Monken gone, Bobo back in. There's kind of this endless cycle of guys that are familiar with the program, even though it's been a few years. So it's going to be interesting to see how Bobo works with these quarterbacks and how they're able to develop and grow under him. But right now, you can make an argument that it's a three-man race for quarterback, although one guy maybe has separated himself from the rest, and that is Carson Beck. I think the overall favorite to become the next quarterback of the Georgia Bulldogs, entering his 4th season at Georgia, by far has the most experience out of all the quarterbacks on the roster right now. He's a highly touted guy. I think Georgia fans have been anxiously waiting to see Carson Beck in some real action. Obviously, in kind of garbage time games, Carson Beck has completed over 74% of his passes for 310 yards and 4 touchdowns. That was all last year. But it was limited time. It was garbage time. It wasn't really meaningful football. None of these quarterbacks on this roster right now have a start in college. No quarterback has a collegiate start, which is something to be of note. But Carson Beck, when he has been in the games, has proven that he's got a great arm, that he's accurate, and that he could be the next guy out that could lead Georgia to their 3rd straight national title. Beck, again, he's accurate. He's got a good arm, but from a mobility-wise standpoint, he doesn't have it nearly as much as maybe his other competitors. So still, you don't have to have a mobile quarterback. You don't have to have a dual-threat quarterback. You got to put the guy that's the best out there on the field. Beck might be that guy. Behind him, though, 2 guys are kind of fighting for that spot. Brock Vandagriff, another guy that, again, Georgia fans have highly touted that they're very excited to see, whether it's this year or whether it's down the road. Vandagriff was the number 17 overall prospect in 2021, only attempted 3 passes last year. But unlike Carson Beck, Vandagriff has a little bit more mobility. He certainly is a bit more mobile and elusive, maybe, than Carson Beck. So I think there's a lot of upside with Vandagriff. I think there's a lot of potential here. But for now, at least in 2023, his role may be more of a second-string quarterback behind Carson Beck. And again, we're going to see these guys continue to separate themselves in practices. We're going to see them continue to separate themselves in Georgia's spring game that's coming up here relatively soon. That's going to give fans and coaches a great idea of what these quarterbacks are capable of and an opportunity to see, like, hey, this could be our guy, whoever it may be. Even though Beck might be the favorite, Vandagriff might be right on his heels. And it's kind of a decision that Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo have to decide is if both these guys are very, very similar, there's not much of separation between the two. Do you go with Beck, who's more experienced? Do you go with the guy that maybe has the better arm? Or do you go with Vandagriff, who isn't as experienced, but has maybe just as good of an arm as Beck and has more mobility? That's the $1 million question here. We'll kind of get those answers as we continue to progress through this spring season. Behind both of them, you have Gunnar Stockton. Again, another big, highly touted recruit. Georgia is set for a while at the quarterback position. And they're set if, hopefully not, if one of these quarterbacks goes down during the season, they've got the depth behind them where Georgia fans should be able to rest easy and say, okay, we can still succeed. Gunnar Stockton is right behind them, maybe the third string quarterback for many right now, but Kirby Smart has praised him lately, saying he's really come a long way. He continues to improve and he continues to impress. But Stockton, the youngest quarterback on the roster right now, the least experienced quarterback on the roster right now. He certainly has some solid mobility along up there with Vandagriff, but I think more than anything right now, Gunnar Stockton, there's more unknown than anything else. So maybe some untapped potential, maybe some unknown talents that we don't really know about. But Beck and Vandagriff, the two guys I think people have paid the most attention to, know the most about. And Gunnar Stockton, being the youngest and least experienced right now, probably going to have to wait a little while before he can fully showcase his talents and maybe his ability out there on the field as the starting quarterback for Georgia. So you look at this team, guys. I mean, this is a Georgia offense that for the last few years has been run by Stetson Bennett, has succeeded. And, I always say it, everybody wants to praise Georgia and their defense, and they should be praised. People forget about how dangerous and efficient and explosive these Georgia offenses have been these last few years under Stetson Bennett. I don't think the Bulldogs are going to take a step back. I don't think you're going to see a regression in efficiency, a regression in explosiveness, regardless of who gets that starting job. As we mentioned, if I had to pick right now, I would lean Carson Beck. I think he is the best choice for Georgia. I think he right now gives him the best chance to win. Very, very dangerous. Maybe has the potential to be even better than the legendary Stetson Bennett. The offense is loaded. He's got lots of talent surrounding him. Georgia's going to have an opportunity in those first few weeks to kind of showcase that talent, to kind of work out any issues they may have. The Bulldogs have an extremely favorable schedule this year. Right now, they're the king of the SEC until proven otherwise, and I have no doubt that the Bulldogs have a very, very good chance to win their third straight national title. Go for a three-peat with Carson Beck as their quarterback. That decision has not been made official. Carson Beck is not officially the quarterback of Georgia, but if I had to put some money down, that would be the guy that I'm taking, and I believe he is a guy that can win another national title in Athens. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue, again, to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future content, because I promise you, you're not going to want to miss it. Game-by-game predictions for every single team, including your Georgia Bulldogs. Every single team, Power 5, Group of 5, we're going to cover it, and we want you to become a part of it. We want you to become a part of our GE Nation and take advantage of everything that we're bringing to the table here on the channel. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.